Hey guys, this is gonna be our beginner guide part 2, but before we progress, let's figure out what we already established in our part number 1. First of all, once you start the game, the first thing you do is you use your 6-star collector on Eternity. Then you're gonna progress the story and you're gonna of course level up your characters. When you do this, focus on Eternity. Once Eternity is max level, then you can focus on leveling up your other characters as much as this quest tell you. Remember the combat tips that I gave you? You play Eternity, Sonetto, and the third character that you put into your team depends on whatever afflatus is beneficial for the stage that you currently face. Then the most important part of them all is don't fall for any of these banners. You do not pull for anything. You save up all your resources until the second anniversary arrives. Now, of course, remember that you gonna clear these quests out here, and you always level up your characters only as much as these quests tell you to. The only other character that you upgrade is you max out Eternity. Then you can progress. What do? You, of course, you will play this main story here. Of course, once you cleared a bunch of the main story, you will unlock yourself additional content, such as resource stages right here. The pussy here, that is very important to clear because it gives you dust, and you need this to upgrade your characters further, level them up further. You're gonna clear the first 2 stages, and then you will see, hey, stage 3, I need to progress with the story. This is exactly what you do. You do the same thing here for the Mintis aesthetics. This gives you Shabadontis, also a very important resource to level up your characters. And again, you will see that stage 3 unlocks only if you progress the story further. Then additionally, you have this analysis stages here. You can clear 2 of those every single day for free without spending any stamina on it, so this is what you're gonna do as well. And then you have these insight stages here. You can ignore them for the moment, other than when you need these resources to level up the inside of a character. That will only be Eternity, of course. Only if the quests tell you to level up another character's inside, you're gonna go for that. Otherwise, only Eternity. And then you can see here, click on Inside, and it will tell you what resources you will need to obtain in order to level up the inside. Now you see, you miss some resources here. You simply click on the resource and the game will tell you where to obtain it, and you're gonna go obtain this to level up the inside. That is only the case once Eternity is max level. This will be level 30, and all of your other characters are level 23 because this is what the quests tell you to do. And now you concentrate on leveling up Eternity again to max level, which would be level 40. Then you go and see what these quests tell you and how far you should upgrade what characters. You're gonna go for that. And after you did upgrade these characters here, Apple and Eagle for example, you're gonna go back to Eternity and focus on leveling up her inside. And at some point you will reach a state, this one right here, where the game might become a little bit overwhelming because you have a whole bunch of content that you have access to. For example, this wilderness right here, you should for the most part ignore it and only worry about it if you have absolutely nothing left anymore, no stamina, no content to clear. And then I have 2 videos on my channel that cover everything about this wilderness in the deepest detail you can imagine. So go watch my channel, go join the database and check out my videos over there when it comes to the wilderness. Then you will see that you have like access to anecdotes, right? You just unlock those, you click on them, you click yourself through the stories, and then you get some rewards here absolutely for free. Pretty good for new players. And you have something called reflections, and here you have access to a whole new story. You can clear everything up here to gain these clear drops. And you have additional events here that you have to clear, like this one right here, and everything here, right? And now this is the point where you have to set yourself priorities and follow a clear path. And that path is you clear the main story first and foremost. This is all you do. Once you can't progress this anymore, there's a stage you can't beat. What you're gonna do then is simply you go to resource stages, you clear those to level up your characters. If your characters are all max level and you still can't progress, then you will go to insight, you will see what kind of stuff you need to upgrade this insight. You do whatever they ask you to do to obtain these resources. You update their insights, and this is how your characters get stronger, and this is how you can progress the main story. That is the very, very most important part of this game. Now, let's say you are completely stuck, right? No matter what you do, no matter how much experience you farm, no matter how much you upgrade the insight, you cannot finish the main story. You cannot progress here, which is kind of impossible. But let's say this will happen. This is when you go to reflections and clear those, so that you gain access to these clear drops for later on, right? Be efficient and use your stamina. By the way, if you run out of the stamina, you will have access to a lot of what we call candy, and you can use this to refresh your stamina and continue playing the game. Be aware that the candy here on the left hand side costs you clear drops. That is something that you never ever want to use ever. Only the stuff on the right hand side here, these lollipops and this jar of candy, those two what you want to use to refresh your stamina, never the stuff on the left hand side. Cool. You clear the main story, you clear the reflections, you do the anecdotes, you do the research stages, you level up your characters and their insights. Another good note here is that you, except for eternity, don't want to upgrade your characters above insight number 2. The insight number 3 upgrade would cost you too much, and you want to keep your resources for other characters and not those that you have access to right here, except for eternity. And then there is more, because every single version, we are in version 2.7 right now, has their events, and you can click here. Then you will see this is an event story right here. It has ended right now, but usually you want to clear this as well. This is the same as the main story and the same as the reflections. It's the same kind of thing. You go through stages and you clear them as much as you possibly can to obtain as many resources as possible. Then we have this rerun event here, the exact same story as all the other content. Now we have some events open here, right, that are a little bit something else, so to speak. See how much you can progress, see that you beat this, see that you get all those rewards as much as you possibly can. And here is a very, very interesting event that is still going, so for 2 days and 6 hours. So this is the Puppet Arena is what it's called, and here you don't play with the characters that are available to you. It doesn't matter what characters you have or how much your characters are leveled up. Here you will gain access to pre-built characters and a pre-built team, and all you have to do is progress through this event. Of course, where do you find how to clear this event as efficient as possible? You guessed it, on my YouTube channel. And you want to clear out this shop right here in its entirety. You want to get every single item that is here, because you can get it for free no matter how strong your characters actually are at the moment. So very, very beneficial. And then you will have content here that is locked for you, and you will worry about those events on a later date. But again, you have to have priority. The first priority is the main story. You can't beat it anymore. You level up your characters by obtaining the resources out of the resource stages. You want to level up your insights, at least the insight number 1. And insight number 2, insight number 3 you won't, unless it's for eternity. Remember that. So if you have to go here, then you go here. The game will lead you there, as I explained. When you go to a character and click on insight, it will lead you to the resource that you will need to upgrade that insight. Those things are the very first priority. If you are now completely stuck and you can't progress for some reason, then you go to the event. these events here that are based on the version that you're currently playing, and you see how much you can beat. You will beat as much as you possibly can, and then you're gonna be fine. After that, you go to reflections and you do the same thing. Grab your anecdote resources, and that's about it. As you progress then through the story, as you should, let's do that together right now. Let's beat the stage. You will see that you unlock additional content. Right now, after beating the stage, I will unlock myself a stage called Harvest Prime, but this is something for the wilderness, and again, you shouldn't worry about this too much. Here's another thing. So there are stages, as you can see, where there is no recommended afflatus, and I told you that you play Eternity, you play Sonetto, and depending on the stage, you play the character that is needed here. But in this stage, in this case, there is no character needed here. And whenever that is the case, then you play Matilda, because Matilda is the best character besides Sonetto and Eternity that you have access to, so you will always use her. Now you have access to something called Psychubes. You can see this as an item, as a kind of as a weapon that you equip to characters. You will have access to these 6 Psychubes right here, and when you click through them, you see this horse right here. It increases your healing done, right? No or none of your characters heal, so you don't want to use that right now. That's something for later. Now you have something that increases your incantation might. The cards in your hand, the spells that you play, those are called incantations. And whenever you use one of these cards, one of these incantations, they will deal 6% more damage. So this is a Psychube that you need to equip to a character that actually deals damage. Who in our team deals damage? That's Eternity. We have this twice, so we have another one for another damage dealer in our team, which is Matilda. Then we have damage taken reduction. This is our best Psychube out of all that we have left, so we equip that one for Sonetto. Sonetto is not here to deal damage with her incantations, she does it with her ultimate, and that's why we give this incantation one to Matilda. And there you go. Upgrading these, leveling these up, you can worry about this later. You don't want to upgrade these Psychubes right here because they are not good enough and they wouldn't be worth your resources. Now there's another thing that we have unlocked, which is called First Melody, and the First Melody is a very important component of the gameplay of the combat in this game. You can see Sonetto's incantation here. This is now an attack incantation that simply would deal some damage, but if you fuse 2 of the same incantations together, they rank up, and in this specific case, this ranks up to a debuff and now would disarm your opponent. That is a very important part of Sonetto's kit, and you want to use this. You can see if you look at our enemy, there are 2 red swords with a white background. This indicates that this opponent will attack us twice when it's his turn with 2 physical attacks, and Sonetto prevents this completely because she disarms the opponent, and that means your opponent cannot use physical attacks to you. So something very important to keep in mind. Now let's talk about our melody. It has 2 effects. For 25 points you can reroll your entire hand, unless you wouldn't like the incantations that you have in your hand here. You can reroll all of this, or you can create a special incantation. Let me do that. This one right here. This one you can fuse for free with anything that you want. And you would always, or in most cases, want to rank up a incantation that deals damage so that it deals more damage, right? So that's what we're gonna do. Now we buff, we debuff our opponent, and we attack our opponent.
Flying handbag for only 3,000 favorite aunties.
And here we go, we beat this stage thanks to Eternity, right? She is overpowered at this point in the game. We focus everything on leveling her up, making her as strong as possible, and you can see it absolutely pays off. Now here on top of your screen there are this is pretty much the tutorial. Just do all of these stages, and you will learn a little bit about the combat system and how everything works in more detail. It's a pretty good tutorial, and it will also give you clear drops, so don't forget about those. These don't cost stamina, so you can do them for free. And that's pretty much about it. That's already the entire beginner guide, if I'm being honest. The most important thing is that you don't pull unless we hit the 2nd anniversary, like upcoming content, right? In 2 days the Assassin's Creed collaboration will drop. You don't pull for anything there. All you do is you grab the 5-star character that you get for free, and he will help you out clearing the story as we get him with portrait number 5. Every time you now unlock content, like for example, I think I just unlocked the Harvest Prime Set, this one right here. This one is pretty useless, but if you clear it, you can see that you gain 60 clear drops. So clear every single stage that you can, like at least one time, to obtain these clear drops. And then again, the game will lead you to the resources and where to obtain them just by default, right? Just like this inside here. Whenever you need a resource that you don't have, you click on it and the game will tell you where it is. And there you go. And there's another thing I can show you real quick, that in this story mode you will have something called hard mode. Here you can see this is the normal story, and then this stage has a harder difficulty. You can ignore this. Don't put your stamina into this hard mode kind of stuff, and focus on progress as much as you possibly can. Of course, later, whenever you have beaten the story in its entirety, you can come back and clear the hard mode to go obtain the clear drops. But early on in this game, ignore the hard mode completely and progress as much as you possibly can. For everything else that you will unlock, like the reveries in the rain, or the when the alarm sounds, and so on and so forth, you have to check out guides for these specific modes. You will find everything in a whole bunch of detail on my channel easily, so don't worry about it. Focus on clearing the quests and the main story, then go for events, like, you know, get the anecdote, get the reflections and everything done. Don't stress about it, focus on the main story. That's your most important objective. And that's it for the video, guys. There will be a part 3, and then we will be done with this beginner guide in its entirety. I'm gonna clear up some confusions that I hear and some ill advice that people actually follow, and explain why it is ill advice. I will give you some more recommendations as to how to progress the game, and so on and so forth. Then all of this will be covered in part 3, and we're gonna do a summary and a step-by-step guide in text form, so that you can take like screenshots or check this out on our database to then follow this much more easily. But until then, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.